You can't see me.
Yeah, okay. Come on. There's one little tricky thing here.
Am I frozen?
No,
No, we see you.
it's that the computer display is like not letting me get to the control. Where'd it go?
Well, she's there.
It's okay.
You showing a copy of it?
I know.
Swipe with
No, I
your
need
finger.
to get to this menu. Where's the other? I need to get to the SKYPE.
Maybe it's on another screen on your
Yeah,
computer.
there's another screen is here.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, but how do I get?
You
Hello,
are on
Nancy.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna try to lift up the computer so you can see the room. And hopefully I won't knock anything out.
Are you gonna turn me around so
Yeah.
I can see the screens?
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
don't-
take it out to the side. Okay.
Ola. On fait la Ola.
Can you see?
Hi, Nancy.
There's a horse.
The horse.
Yeah, we didn't start yet. We're just saying hello. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put you back on the chair. And we're gonna plug in the sound. I had heard you, but the whole room didn't. Now the whole room can hear you.
Everybody.
Hello.
Yes. Great.
Okay,
Okay.
we are just introducing this, so you're now in the audience, okay? And then
Okay, but can I be facing
yeah, we're
whoever
gonna
is
turn
talking?
you on the screen in a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Oh boy.
Can you see
Wait.
it?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. You ready? Okay. Can you see the whole thing?
I see the whole frame of the image.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. I just was gonna start with one moment. If you could close your eyes and just imagine back to your first contact class, first contact teacher. When was that? Back in time, in the timeline? And part of the thing that we're doing is thinking about lineage and how things get passed along. So we're just giving you a chance to think about when you started and who you started studying with. And you can bring it up into the future, into this moment.
I guess Nancy sees the
Oh, now she sees me again. Okay. That was it. That was just a way to. Thank you. You want to? Should we stand up or how should we? Okay. There's a page missing. Is that my page? Yes. Okay. Okay. How do I do that?
You want to sit on the hand or
I'm kind of a bit nervous to sit down actually.
get it in the chair?
I think I. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so welcome to our presentation about the development of the Round Robin project. I'm Heitkamp and I'm from Germany, and I started with Contact in 1977. And Nancy, Colleen and Eki, who also sends his greetings, he can't be here like virtually with us.
It's in Poland.
And yeah, we prepared some of our process that we went through since 2008. And you, Colleen,
My name is Colleen, and you all met me because I've been here since the beginning. And I joined the steering committee 2 or 3 years ago, and we've been doing all this research, which you're about to hear about. That's it?
Mhm.
Okay. Shall we go start?
Yeah. So the RRP, the Round Robin Project, initiated in 2008 and is being developed to serve the dance form contact improvisation and all the people worldwide who are engaged in that work, dance practitioners, performers, researchers, teachers, students, artists, and any other interested people.
We started to document the development of the project on the ECITE.org round robin page. And in May 2014, we created a new site to update people on where we've come from since. And the goal is to provide an online resource to make information about CI easily accessible in many languages. And that's the web page.
Okay, so
Okay.
that's
If
a
you wanna-
screenshot from Felipe.com.
Yeah.
Could you talk slower
Yeah.
and louder, please?
Maybe turn
I
around.
think it's hard to face the screen. Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Would it be good so Nancy could see you even in front of the screen?
No,
Or
like
do
we
you
are
think
facing
PowerPoint is here.
cable problems.
It's
Yeah,
we had to
yeah,
do
sure,
it this
sure,
way.
sure.
Yeah. So the RRP currently has two aspects, and one is the Global Contact Improvisation Calendar, which will provide a way to see at a glance CI activities around the globe. It will offer listings of CI classes, jams, workshops, festivals, and events happening throughout the global CI community, posted individually by event organizers and teachers.
I know. I'm not seeing.
I continue.
Yeah.
The collective global CI archive, the GCIA, will house materials and point people to where to find global resources about the history and other archival materials about CI, ranging from articles, books, theses, transcripts, videos, to other CI artifacts in many languages.
The vision of creating a global sharing place on the internet for the calendar and the archive material, it came out of the CI 36 anniversary events in 2008, and then it was developed with the idea of creating an interactive calendar tool used globally, and that would find information from regional websites that would talk to each other and not have that would be decentralized. And since then, we've changed it after discovering that technically wasn't possible. And the new vision is to make a central shared cooperative calendar. And that's what we're going forward with now.
And this is the steering committee and the technical team as of June 1st, 2015. And what makes CI? Its practice, the ways of communication between individuals and groups, the exchange in the actual dance meetings, but also in regard to organizational, society, and structural aspects so special.
There are multiple definitions of contact improvisation. CI is more than a dance technique, and it touches on philosophical practices, health, anatomy, social well-being, and other aspects and areas of being a human being on planet Earth.
And since 2007, over a period of 43 years, CI has been growing and is constantly informed and further developed by practitioners, teachers, researchers, artists, and scientists. There is an ongoing dialogue as the form evolves. It is an open-ended question.
It's been spreading from its origins in North America to different continents and cultures, to Europe, South America, Asia, and Australia, and slowly to Africa and Arabian countries.
The global CI community and its practitioners have developed very effective structures to research and generate, share, exchange, and distribute a wide range of knowledge between professionals and non-professionals, differently abled with different cultural backgrounds and educations. This happens on the dance floor and at different gatherings, physical meetings at jams, festivals, performances, platforms for national and international exchanges, conferences like the ECITE here, or the worldwide activities during CI 36.
The fields of research include dance, pedagogy, choreography, communication through touch, and in general, the human body and body awareness methods. This knowledge is growing through the dancing daily practice and with other practitioners or in workshops and classes, and in practical and theoretical research in yearly exchanges on national and international platforms.
The theoretical discourses take places in magazines like Contact Quarterly or internet archives like contactencyclopedia.net.
And on Facebook forums, personal blogs, and other online platforms. There's also many people who do academic research and write about CI for conferences and publish in academic journals. And some people are presenting research about CI with doctors, therapists, and other professionals and institutions.
The pool of knowledge will be made accessible to everyone through the Global Contact Improvisation Archive, and the discoveries are being transferred into other areas like pedagogy, social politics, therapy, healing, and science. These developments have led to the insight that the essence of these communication skills and networking capacities should also find their way into new media and the use of up-to-date technologies in the internet. We are working on the transfer from the artistic and everyday life and the community and social models in relationship to the current web-based online technologies to open up more efficient pathways for the flow of information.
The aims of the Round Robin Project on the website, it's based on the understanding that the global CI community consists of networks of overlapping CI communities, and the project is to support local initiatives and foster flow of information between the different communities. As it continues to grow, the question is, how do we stay connected at the same time, encourage the diversity of individuals and the different voices to develop in their own way? Online, there's lots of personal, local, and regional, national, and event-based websites that have been created for specific communities with information, with listings, peoples, links, news, definitions, and archival materials.
Local and regional webmasters provide the communities they serve with information in the appropriate languages, look after the information posted, provide community centers, photos, reports, and last but not least, also represent the local specificity and practice of the dance form through choices in design and content.
The local specificity of the websites and the local support of the webmasters is really necessary for the flow of information and communication within the global community. The existing inefficient dispersion of information on many different sites complicates the searches and input. And if you're inputting something, you think, how many calendars or Facebook pages do I have to post my events on? How many websites do I need to go through until I find what I need? So that's one of the problems. The goal of the RRP is to support, strengthen, and inspire the worldwide community by creating a global shared place for information about CI activities and archival resources in all languages.
Besides the global CI calendar and archive, this collective resource could contain further global listings in the future, like people, place, and CI websites.
The tool created will support as many different languages as possible, and will be supported by a rotating group of volunteers from different language groups. And we found a bit of research on TED.com about multilingualism. Here's a list of the people who have offered to help with translation. And you can add if you're interested in helping with translation, please talk to us.
I don't have Spanish yet.
No? Okay. Do you want to?
No.
Okay. We encourage local and regional groups to continue and to this global pool of resources, and we want the tool to be available free of cost and easy to use.
Organization and maintenance. The Round Robin project is being developed by a steering committee. The original vision group is Nancy, Ecki, Norbert Pape, and myself, and Tino Hettich, in connection with the technical team. The original tech team was Tino Hettich and Martin Hülse, and now it is Davide Casiraghi, with input from you, the global contact community.
Once the website with the calendar and archive is up and running, the steering committee will become a caretaking committee, which will rotate amongst volunteers from the worldwide community. And we invite you to consider getting involved as a caretaker or to support it in another way. And the team will also be replaced by other competent caretakers, and the previous members of the team will remain available for consultants. This is just the theory. Hope it works like that. And we hope to create a roof and a ground for the collection of sharing information and resources about CI around the world.
So the global CI calendar, during the years of discussing and trying to develop the calendar tool, the project was in a constant creative change. The goals, the requirements, its use and its control were seen similar with the archive tool as described before. If you are interested in the full historical development and what we went through, please go to the Bartley.com page and push the history button, and there is more info. We have stayed fully connected with the aims of the RRP for the calendar tool.
We envision a self-developed community-owned tool that can be shared with any local CI page, any event page or teacher page by just linking it to the calendar. The inscribed information will enter into the global calendar, and to be able to add information, you'll need to get access through the caretaking team. We're not sure how that's going to work yet. Once it's done, once the thing's done, then it will be self-regulated.
We imagine, in case of conflict, a rotating multilingual caretaking team that will support solving conflicts around spam or access issues. The caretaking team will be volunteers of the global community, integrating the networking webmasters. Posting on the calendar will be CI relevant information only. Jams, classes, CI workshops, festivals. We realize that many people offer work related to CI, such as BMC or other somatic work. For the purposes of this calendar, we propose concentrating work or events that are directly related on CI. If it is a hybrid event, such as BMC and Contact, it is still included. If it's any somatic work without clearly named relation to CI, it will not enter.
At the moment in the development, the calendar tool will offer the following categories:
Title,
on one-time event,
ongoing event,
type of event,
place,
date,
teacher, facilitator, organizer,
cost,
event description.
and there'll be a search engine, and you can look for events according to the above categories.
For example, you could search for where NN is teaching from June to September 2016, or for all festivals in South America in 2016. You could ask what is happening in a specific place in a specific country in August 2016.
We believe the good search function is the base for the success of the tool and will help with acceptance in the community and make it attractive for teachers and organizers to input their events and be user-friendly for those who search for events. And right now it's developed by Davide, how do you say his last name? Kaziragi, and he's in the webmaster for the contactimprov.italy IT page, and Justin Morrison is offering to consult, and there's a few other people who are on the back to ready when it gets further developed. In this image you'll see the most recent work he's done to develop the layout. There's a few pages, I can just pass them around if you want to see, and it's up there. And this will also be in the other room, in the resource room.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really hard to read.
Yeah.
There will be printouts. Like there's a whole printout of the whole PowerPoint presentation. It will be down there then in the resource room, and the printer ran out of ink. But here you can still read it.
Yeah, and that's a mind map of the categories and the filters that we've outlined so far, and also if you have feedback on that, you can write it on the documents. During this week we want feedback, so that's just the current categories that we think we need. But if you think of another one, we can add it in. The next steps after the prototype is made is to find people to fill it initially and get it up and running. And then after it's working and tested, the protocol will be that individual will input their own information, and there'll be a team of people that's responsible for approving who can do that. So then self-regulating.
The Global CI Archive, the GCIA, what CI materials exist and where can they be found? The image is from Going into Contact, a permeable spiral installation library.
The goal of the, now we're on the other project, the other thing. The goal of the Global Contact Improvisation Archive project is to create and develop the creation and develop of a digital archival structure that lists and in some cases houses materials addressing the diverse subject areas within contact improvisation. We envision that the GCIA is non-hierarchical, multilingual, and is offering a source of information by making materials about CI known, categorized, searchable, and available.
An important part of the process is the definition of core elements like title, subject, description, creator, source, as well as working on subject categories and a tagging system aiming for a transparent, easy-to-use structure.
Okay, the list, remember you don't have to remember this because it's all written out. Okay, just saying. The list of the core elements is based on this, oh you said that. We want to give you a fast overview, so don't worry if you don't get the details.
No, like we didn't talk about the DCMI.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So the list of core elements is based on a structure given by DCMI, the Dublin Core Metadata Initiative. It's a set of rules and contents that is used by many archives in Europe. And so one of our efforts has been to visit different meetings of archives, and because our approach is really different than, for example, at the moment, like with the Forsyth Archive or the Pina Bausch Archive, it's only always about one artist. And with the Global Contact Improvisation Archive, it's created together, and it's really not only presenting one person's vision, and it really doesn't, it's really in this way very different than other archival efforts that are happening at the moment. And for us it was, we will talk about more about this. So, but like here with the structure, there is like ID,
identifier, format, type, language, title. This is also what a lot of, you know this.
the content,
is the title, the subject, the coverage, and description.
rights management,
Creator, publisher, contributor, rights holder, and the rights. Provenance.
and Vernetzung is linking,
The source, relation, and the audience, and the instructional method.
and life cycle.
The date. So this is the categorization of libraries.
So identifier is about how to find things, reference, citation, and where documents live.
You ready?
Mhm.
Let's go into more detail about technical data.
And technical data would be something on the, you see it on the left side, like format, type, and language. And in the next image, we just go more into format, and formats would be there like booklet, or chapters in a book, or a scrapbook, or like VHS tape, or a DVD, or a CD-ROM, or is it a photo collection, or like, so like there is many different ways. And there is one thing like we would like to talk later in the question and answers, but maybe it's something to address already now. Are people willing to give in information? Yeah, like we would like that people either link to their materials or like upload it onto the global archive, and in order to really make it more searchable under different aspects, the more information the better. And so it's a pretty complex thing, and we just would like to give an overview, and like during the week go more into details for the people who are interested. Yeah, but it's a pretty complex thing, but we think it's worth it.
There's a lot more to do. Right now we're still in research. Before we get to actually making it, there's a lot that has to happen before.
Yeah, so like from the technical data, there was type, and here is type vocabulary, and this would be collection,
Database, data set,
the interactive resources,
moving images,
still image,
physical objects,
service,
sound,
text,
text, and image.
and just to go more into text, yeah?
Yeah.
So then there's a whole list of different kinds of text materials in the column on the left side. We started to write down definitions. See in the block on the right side, like what is an article, or what is an essay, or a critique, or a review. And we are still, like we started this list, but we still have many definitions to go through. Yeah, like to be more specific. And later there will be a pop-up menu. Yeah, and then, but there should be also explanations what to make across then what this is.
And that has to all be done by us. Okay,
So,
next.
yeah, like we also look closer at interactive resources and at still image and sound, but we just like swamp over this, yeah. And we talked about core elements before, and one would be, rather than content, dealing with title and are there subtitles, or what is the subject, and what is the coverage and the description. And so we just like we were trying also to make definitions of what those things are,
For us.
Still we are in the middle of the process, and
under the goals of the GCIA, that'd be
so like those would be other core elements with rights management, with linking or life cycle. We listed the stuff before. Yeah, then there is another thing that is pretty interesting for us with subject categories. Besides the core elements, we also have been working on subject categories. What are perspectives on ordering existing materials under specific topics? Subject categories. We came up with following categories in random order. Yeah, physics, chemistry, images, scores, basics, technique, time, space, community, values, teaching, performance, philosophical, technical, language, somatics, dance making, architecture, group process, different populations, identity, music and sound, activism and community, history, politics, transfer, definitions, core prepositions, fundamental vocabulary. So like there are many more. Yeah, like what the question is, what would be interesting, or how, if you have material, how are you structuring your material? Yeah,
And how
like
can we find it, and how we have a common language for it?
like by materials that are already existing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like also like from this part of it is from CI 36, from the listing and how it was structured there. Other is from Contact Encyclopedia, how we structured things, and also like some of this could probably also go into tagging. Yeah, like we have a whole other suggestion for tagging that we will not show today. We felt like it's too much. Yeah, but there's other example also from Contredanse, who made this DVD, not the Steve Paxton one, material for the spine, but the one about Anna Halprin, and the whole DVD is structured by alphabetical, by tags.
Yeah.
It was very interesting how they structure the whole work of Anna Halprin based on her teaching workshops, and how they structured it by alphabetical tags, and so part of it, this would probably also go there, and this is definitely not complete. In the beginning about tags, we were wondering if it makes sense to offer a lot of different tags, and then we went on TED.com, and they have like hundreds of tags practically. So that gave us also the confidence that yes, it does make sense to have more tags. Yeah, so it just makes things easier. If you're looking for something specific, then you find it, then you can find it. And then this will have to do with, are people willing to give in this information, to really make the material searchable.
So if you have to put in a photograph or something, then you have to put in all the information in all the menus for each thing. But that means that later on we can find it.
So this
Yeah.
would be also something during the week to sit down
Yeah.
together with
We'll
a
have
group of
another
people,
time.
like, and have a closer look. And we are happy for your suggestions.
We need help with it for sure.
So then there is a whole other aspect, like in the process of working on the round robin project, we did website research on CI and research on archives and documentation, and we participated, several members of the steering committee participated in different conferences. So, so this is just like it's hard to read, yeah. But like like we found over 300 websites related to contact improvisation. The base came from Rosella Fiumi, who runs a festival in Oviedo, and she started a list with websites, and we completed the list more. And then we actually went through the list, like who is responsible and what kind of calendar info is given, or what kind of archive materials are they having? Is there other info? In what language are those websites? So we were trying to analyze like what is there, and to also look for partners, like who has archival material and who could be a possible partner for the archive that we could link to those sites. So like this is only a start, and I put students in the university on analyzing this, but like there's
And actually, this is not current. It's probably even changed since
Yes.
then, because
Yes.
this is a few years old. So probably since then, there's probably more sites, and there's probably some that are dead. So it's gonna have to be refreshed.
Yeah,
and
so then with Norbert Pape and myself, like in the university, I'm running a weekly video evening, and Norbert and I kind of did a website archive documentation research, from other organizations, Zama is a Belgian one that works a lot with dance critique, or choreograph.net, or surfthechannel.com, or like so. There's many others, yeah. So this is just one page of the research that we did, but to just see how other people are doing it and what we could learn from other sites.
And we tried different ways of visualizing the information, like Excel sheets and sketches, like the CI lobby directory that Nancy made. And this was in June 2009, before Facebook. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. This one?
So then, different members of the steering committee participated in different conferences, and so Nancy, Norbert, and myself participated in different formats in the third Biennale Dance Education 2012 in Frankfurt. I was the artistic director of the Biennale, and we also had an input into the book documentation, partnering documentation, approaching dance heritage culture. And there's 3 texts that were published in the book. Fair and Equal, the Round Robin Project, written by Norbert. Response to the Archive, embedding Siobhan Davis replay in the dance making and educational context, from Sarah Watley. Or You Have to Find a New Way, Issues in Contact Improvisation and Ballet, by Nancy Stark-Smith and Nora Kimball Mensos. And you can find the book downstairs in the resource room.
Yeah. Okay. Then, Dieter and I went to this conference, I can't remember what this kind of said, in the European Video Dance Heritage Conference in Düsseldorf in November 2013. And it's an EU initiative to create an accessible cultural resource, and to look at the issues involved in creating online archives. There were people from lots of different countries, this many people. I lost my place. And they, from a range of different cultural institutions, as well as lawyers who taught us about copyright laws and issues around ownership and rights. We saw some existing archives, and we were able to talk to people and network who are initiating the project, and we were looking at the practical and legal issues involved. We learned a lot about copyright law and issues about ownership, and we saw some examples, good examples of existing archive projects and creative applications.
One would be here in France, Numéridanse, which has like 1,500 videos online. In Germany, we are discussing still, like, the different archives are still competing with each other, and like Numéré Dense would be like an interesting model. Okay, like this is far beyond our capacities at the moment,
Yeah.
but it's still it's
something to
interesting
look
to
at that
see how
exists. Yeah.
this can be done. Yeah, if we would have the right resources.
And the other thing about that was that it was specific artists and it was archives of performances, and so they could get all the rights for everything. We don't have that kind of setup, so but it's still a cool archive. And that conference was more like funders, cultural people, and then the other one we went, and this also is the program from it, which will also be in the downstairs, so you can see who was there and the program. We brought it for you to look at. The next thing we went to was at Motion Bank, and that's the Anna Halpern DVD. That was the live and online weekend. This was the first public presentation of the online Motion Bank materials of Jonathan Burrows and Matteo Faragon. I never can pronounce his name. How do you say his name? Barjon. Phoebe Miller and I can't say his name either.
Thomas Howard.
With Deborah Hayes' update of using the Sky website. The project created online resources for specific dance artists with the goal to create a tool that people could use to study the dances and also have an online tool to create work based on the choreographic methods of each individual artist. Students from Frankfurt, Dresden, Berlin used the resources, the tool that they made for each of the artists, and then shared the results and the application of these resources on the weekend. So we got to see what they made with using the tools, and we got to try them. There were talks and Q&A sessions and lots of key people in the field of digital dance and online dance resources, and we also met some creative coders. So this event was more the artists and like people like us and like the artists. So
we have talked about contredanse before in Belgium, and I think how they have been dealing with material for the spine from Steve Paxton. Yeah, they took 4 years of Tai Chi lessons before they felt they were able to cope with Steve's approach to martial art. And then they did this project on Anna Halpern, and they really built it on a specific aspect of her work. Like in the last years, there has been a lot of material about Anna Halpern, and they focused really on how she was giving workshops. And for me, for example, it was really inspiring when I saw old videos from Anna Halpern's work. For me, it looked like Contact, and also like seeing old videos from Yvonne Rainer. So like the term wasn't existing yet, but looking back from today and seeing how people were working together, like there is things that are related. So one thing that we also wanted to do on the Global Contact Memorization Archive is contact and related. Yeah, like the work from Denny Lepkov or from Lisa Nelson or from others or Caroline Schneemann, or like it's not pure contact, but there is a relation to CI. And so like that was one thing where we felt like there should be also contact and related in the archive.
So this DVD ROM is mine, so just be careful. But it's in there, and you'll see how they made a resource with an artist, and it's really, really interesting. But we were looking at their categorization. It was really cool how you could like search for a keyword and be taken to part of
their
the
next
thing.
project will be on Lisa Nelson.
Yeah. They're developing a project with Lisa Nelson now to make a tool for her.
And we also exchanged with Agnès Benoit Nader from Books on the Move. Like Agnès lives also in France. Before she lived in Germany, and like she has really a super collection of actual books and magazines. And we also talked with Marlon Barrios from Dance TechNet and with Nick Rothwell, who gave us advice. So
they were talking to us about how we might have an interface and how that might work, and then we might have a social media platform that has the archive and the calendar, but it also needs development. But they were just giving us ideas about how we can have a tool that would work for us. Yes.
So then, last last year, Nancy, myself, and Colleen were present at the Life Legacy project in the Tanzhaus in NRW in Düsseldorf, and some text from the website about the Life Legacy project. The Life Legacy project seeks to share the practices and techniques sprouted by the 1960s American avant-garde and that migrated to Germany, often through the Dutch institutions, for example the School for New Dance Development and European Dance Development Center. The project reveals the revolutionary influences in German contemporary dance training and highlights the visibility of such corporeal values in choreographic work and practice. What exactly are these embodied philosophies, and what kind of cultural shifts have been enabled by their transmission? That it focuses so much also on the relation to Germany. It was funded by Tanzfonds Erbe, a national organization that is the follow-up organization of Tanzplan Deutschland. And so like there had to be, like it could go into other countries there, but there had to be a relation to the developments in Germany.
And the first ever ECITE was hosted by the Modern Dance Department in Amsterdam Theatre School, and this is the first ECITE reader, which is also in the consortium. And the Live Legacy Project, this is the program, again, you can look at it downstairs. It brought together choreographers, dance artists, scholars, educators, and it was a 6-day symposium, and there was movement practices, there were stories, there was intensive workshops, there were live dyad conversations, that he did one of them, there were roundtable discussions and performances, and a big cool dance party on the last day. It was great. It was. It was great. One remarkable aspect of this event was that the idea of a living legacy, that the transmission of the dances from person to person, and we all are living this legacy now, and we're all part of the legacy and the lineage, like we did before.
So during the Life Legacy project, Nina Martin moderated a talk between Nancy, hi, and
I can't see you anymore. Can you turn your camera?
Oh, it's not there?
No.
Keep going.
okay, so between
But I
Nancy
can hear
and
you.
me,
Go
and
ahead.
the title of this talk was "The Trace is Not the End: Vehicles for Moving Ideas, Co-Creating Collectively Practice and History." And also, during the Life Legacy project, I premiered Going into Contact, a permeable spiral installation, and the installation opened up a possibility room to simply be and hang out, to learn and exchange during the symposium. And like during the last ECITE at Ponderosa, I had sent the questionnaire, and there is still more down, and so the project is not finished, and I will explain more about this. For me, it is very interested to there's a big time spiral on the floor, and actually it starts before 1972. For example, later we performed this project in Berlin in the Academy of Arts in a completely different framework, Schwindel der Wirklichkeit, which was on performance art in the 60s. And for me, for example, like the Academy of Arts started in 1970 to organize a festival, dance, pantomime, music, dance, theater, and they brought like Merce Cunningham and Douglas Dunn and David Gordon and Trisha Brown and all those people to Berlin, and for me it was really a possibility to meet with people and then later cooperate with people from the Trisha Brown company or so. And for me, like and doing this project there made absolute sense for me, because like it's practically a historic location, and to also do it in an exhibition and not in a pure dance event, and so there is like not like it's very different than normal lectures I do. Normally I write a lecture for many weeks and then I have 1 week of rehearsals, and for this one where there is just the questionnaire cards, there is like, you have seen those 2 shelves with folders, so I just pull from folders. We just choose to present videos. There's 4 flat screens and over 100 DVDs, so the audience can, so like during the day we have open rehearsals, and people can then in the evenings we are doing 3 or 4 different shows. So one night would be about contact and physics. The second would be about contact and sexuality. The third night would be about contact and poetry or so. And we would just during the day make a score of different sources, and then the text would give a base for the dancers to just be. So though they don't have to represent, they just are practicing. It's a little bit like come and we show you what we do. Yeah, like so like.
But you're pulling from the archive. You
yeah,
pull from
like
the archive
like
each
we are
day
so
to
like
make
there and
scores for the
people
nighttime.
who come 3
Yeah.
days, they really
And
get
the
an
archive's all
idea of the
around.
complexity of the different layers
The
of
map
this.
is there. If you wanna
And
see it.
the spiral is drawn with chalk, and by dancing, the time spiral is always erased. So
Yeah.
part of the project is that the spiral has constantly be renewed. And for me, it's like a symbol. If we don't visit history, then it's just erased. And the other idea was also like how can archival material be used for new artistic creation. Yeah, like not just like that the info is just there in the shelves, but like how can we really use it to create something new
Yeah.
from it. And what was really very surprising, like people who have nothing to do with contact came out of the event and they were really motivated to move. And I think that's another similarity to the early come and we show you what we do. Yeah, like just by showing and the practice, people feel motivated to move, and I think that worked very well.
And the cards, basically, on the back they have the definitions and they're on the wall, so you can also read them, and they go along with it. So if you write a definition, it'll go on the wall and it'll travel with the installations. And the next time that it's performed, your card might get read out to the audience. So all the words are constantly being refreshed.
So you are really invited to fill out the cards downstairs in the resource room, and and there you get an idea what the wall looks like with the 200 answered questionnaires, and it's kind of old-fashioned that it's handwritten, but you really see the individual writing, and it's very different than. But now we are working on a digitalized version with like Martin Hilde is helping. He wrote software where we will give in all the information from the questionnaire, and we will use it for the Global Contact Improvisation Archive, because, for example, Norbert Pape had the idea of the introductory page of the archive to be just like a cloud of moving definitions, and just one definition after the other comes forward, and to really have kinetic, like to show the movement in it, and not just have like this is the definition, but to really so the information from the cards will go into other forms of information.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. We're almost done. I attended 2 events at Coventry University, and I also brought the notes. If you want to read them, they basically were more similar, different. But sorry, let me extend to the script. One of them was the Europeana Space Best Practice Network: Spaces for Possibility of the Creative Use of Digital Cultural Content. So, the idea that that the digital stuff that we have now is our cultural content, and how we do that, and how we use that, was kind of the topic. And there were also talks about how to use the digital material creatively, and also that it is a resource, and technology and security and legal issues as well. And it's another initiative full of lots of people who are really interested in this right now. So it's informing us, and we might be able to partner with them, but it's just more information for us to have. And the other one was called Riches, Renewal, Innovation and Change, Heritage and European Society. And it was there in that haunted place. And it is haunted. And I also met with Sarah Watley of CDARE, and she's the one who created the Siobhan Davis online archive. And she also works with Scott De La Junta from Motion Bank. And she gave us some advice about that it's a great project, but we really need to secure resources to make it sustainable. And so she's also willing to keep her eye out for us and consult us.
And to just give an idea of the complexity of the network, like Scott Delahunter also did a workshop during the Biennale with Nancy Stark-Smith. And so like it's really a group of people meeting in different contexts, and it's really like we have been working on this since 2009, and it's really a roller coaster. But hopefully like this gives you an idea what we are working on. And
we also have some demo software that was gifted to us to try, that we can get customized, and it has some categories. It's set up this way. This is just an example from the page, from the not the interface, the interface. What's the thing? Like you go there and you put it in. I can't think of the word. Anyway, we have the code and stuff, so I'm really interested if people want to test it, because we need to see how we get on with it. This is the thing where you have to put all the tags in. So if during this week people want to try the software and take some of the pictures we've done and test the software, we really appreciate it. And make notes. No, well, yeah, I can give you the link. But come see me later. But yeah, we'll test. We really want people to test it. And this is something that can be customized for us with the categories that we need. So they could change it and add things and make it our language that we need for our thing. Yeah?
so the last button on the weekly round robin project site is funding. Yeah. So how shall we go forward? How will the round robin project be supported and maintained? And at this point in time, we have no funding to develop this website, and the tools connected to it to serve the CI community. Many volunteers have been dedicating uncountable hours of work to research, develop, and program this tool.
We're currently looking for different institutional sources of funding to support the overall costs of things, for the server, the development, maintenance, and individual and regional contributions might be solicited, but we see this as being a free resource for users, and we're looking to secure long-term support so the basic continuity of the resource is assured for at least 20 years.
And we are relying on your help and the support of the CI community. An example of how to support this project could be that CI teachers and organizers of CI events offer a free spot in workshops and festivals for those members of the CI community who help to develop and maintain the round robin project. Another option will be a button directing to a bank account where to donate money. If you have other ideas how to support this project or experience in programming and free capacities, please contact us.
Yes, because one of the ideas is maybe we have a partnership with the university, or there's ideas that we can talk about, but we can't go any further without more resources.
Yeah, there has been quite a bit of support from my university for this, and the idea would also be to cooperate with other universities, and to have a share, but the question is also then, would the community be willing that like a site like this would be hosted by a university? Yeah, so those would be questions to discuss. Yeah, but there's also a question like, do you have other ideas how to finance it? Yeah, or do you really think you want this? Yeah, or we should rather stop.
Yeah. You might not want, well, we don't know. This is a concept right now, it's not a reality, so we need to find out, would you use it, would it be supported, so we're at the point now where we're gonna ask questions.
Yeah, and a big thank you to the organizers and all of you for being here with us, and giving us a possibility to make this presentation, and hopefully during the week we can work on specific aspects, and it would help us to go further.
Yes.
I would say a big thank you to you.
Yeah.